to know enough. Too old to play the part, too cool for showing up. Too dumb to say what's smart, so I'm a substitute waiting for the game to start. But I ain't trying to get played like change your heart. And may I park and find me another ride. I'm letting Florence tell you how I feel inside.
Okay, so this is completely off the cuff, unscripted, unwritten down. That's not even probably a word. But I was just thinking of, when I studied philosophy and when I got into arguments with atheists, especially, like, the number one thing you can do if you come across atheism, and the number one flaw is they want to be these moral entities. They want to have morality, but they have no foundation for morality. So the best way you can attack this is just ask them, well, what is your foundation for morality? So, for example, if I'm going to build a house, in order to build that house, I first have to have a foundation, a structure for building that house. Without that, it falls apart. I have no basis, no structure, no way of, building a house that's not going to fall apart. So an example would be, without God, morality, objective morality, cannot exist. So what I'm trying to say is, without a lawgiver, there is no moral law. So in order to have morality, there has to be a lawgiver, right? And if you take that out, we're just here by chance. We're just here by predetermined things that are set in place before birth. Objective morality can exist. It doesn't exist. So you may think that it's wrong to murder someone. I may agree with that, but there's no objective, tangible reason to say that it's wrong, other than I don't like it, subjectively speaking. And by subjectively, I just mean that's my own opinion. So an atheist has all these ethical claims, these moral statements they want to make, but they have no foundation, no grounding in which to make those proclamations. Everything becomes subjective. Everything becomes your own opinion. And in Christianity, the basis for this argument is called foundationalism. In other words, you have to have the ground beneath your feet in order to make your argument. That's sort of a primitive way of saying it, but in essence, that's what the whole basis of the argument is. So the argument is, in order to have a moral law, there must be a moral lawgiver. So in order to, without a moral lawgiver, objective morality doesn't exist. It can't exist. So you get into things like utilitarianism and other forms of ethics that atheists will try to use, but they're all ungrounded. They're all can't be substantiated by anything other than, opinions and cultural relativism, and whatever is good for one culture may not be good for another culture. So who's to say what's right versus what's wrong? Because it all differs between one culture and another. I don't know. This is just off the cuff. I may reshoot this video. If not, that's just sort of a brief outline of, foundationalism versus anti-foundationalism. Foundationalism says, yes, we must have a grounding for our beliefs, and that grounding is God. Anti-foundationalism is like what atheism is built on. We're just here, our ethics are determined by ourselves, and we all know how that goes. So anyways, hope you liked it. If you didn't, well, maybe you like the next one.